And a little fun fact for everybody that doesn't know: Ron Simmons was the first African American World Heavyweight Champion. In WCW, he beat Vader, which
Yes.
that was a quick match, but the power slam he did on Vader was fucking beautiful.
And people forget how strong Ron Simmons really was.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like when they gave him that stupid gladiator gimmick, nobody laughed in the back because they
No.
were like, he would kill me if I did. He would murder me.
And I don't know what happened. I thought they was gonna be WWF World Champion when he was Farouk. I could have swore, if not when he was the Gladiator, when he was in the Nation of Domination. Yeah,
That probably would have been the best bet. You know what I mean? I think
yeah,
that was a lost opportunity because you could have had him as a champ and then The Rock as the IC champ, and then that's where you make the friction. And you could have had Kama and
D'Lo.
D'Lo Brown as tag team champions. You could have done that for the first time like that.
Yeah,
But then there's that friction because The Rock naturally wants to be the top guy because he has a look, charismatic.
yep.
It would
And
have been interesting. That would have been in a different booking for it.
oh
I
yeah,
would have been a fan of that.
and not for nothing, I believe that if Farouk was the World Heavyweight Champion, The Rock was Intercontinental Champion, and Kama and D'Lo, or D'Lo and Mark Henry were the tag team champions, it would have meant a lot more to the African American community and the minority community back then than it would now.
It's funny, and then you could have easily given Kama or Mark Henry the European title.
Yep.
Kind of like just give him the collective goal
Yeah.
outside of the light heavyweight and the hardcore title. It would have
Yep.
been perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Because not for nothing, the racial tension back in the day was, I felt like it caused riots and people died because someone got fucking beat and shot 81 times for pulling out his wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of shit back in the day that we were separated and it was clear.
Yeah.
It was fucking clear. You don't drive down a good neighborhood if you're a colored person in a nice or decent car. You're gonna get pulled over. They think it's stolen.
We didn't have none of this happening.
Oh yeah. The first time I got my driver's license, that first week I got pulled over for nothing. I got pulled over though. Yeah, it's Spanish man in a sports car. Get him. Profiling out the ass. But I honestly think it would have meant a lot more back in the day. But I would have just loved to see it. I think Farouk as WWF champion just is history that was lost.
Yeah, man, you could have done it for 2 or 3 months and then have to sort out with him and The Rock with the Rock takes. But the thing is, you had Austin. He was red hot. He was doing that program. But I felt that program didn't need a title. They just needed them to. You know what I mean?
Very much so.
Title
Yes.
was literally the most add-on thing to that rivalry ever. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. It was even add-on to The Rock and Austin because at that point it was just them like, yo, I just got to be the guy. I don't have to be champ. I just got to be the guy. I got to be the top guy. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, it made sense to interject the titles for The Rock and Austin because you wanted your top guy to be champion.
Absolutely.
You couldn't have no quote unquote jabroni being the world champion when The Rock and Austin are going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I think that dynamic would have probably been one of the better ones for the Attitude Era, and it would have changed a lot of the way I know we see WWE because when we say the whole with Braun Breaker, the extra K silent, now it's legitly loud.
Yeah.
It would have probably not been as pronounced, the racism in it that it is today. You know what I mean?
Yep. And we're not calling anybody in the WWE racist. We're just saying that the way they do things is fucking racist.
The booking is racist.
Yeah, the booking and the history is fucking racist, bro. It's not even. And you know something? AEW's following suit. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't give a shit if your tag team champion's African American right now. What you did to Scorpio Sky when you first fucking brought him in, he was supposed to be one of the top guys. What you did to Scorpio Sky is a fucking disgrace. I'm sorry. Love Wardlow. I'm happy he's the TNT champion. But what you did with fucking Scorpio Sky is a fucking disgrace. Sorry.
There's no reason for Scorpio Sky to win that brass ring thing and not have a title shot.
Yeah, word.
It's bullshit. And the guy has a look. He can talk. He's built. I don't know
what fucking wrestle.
And then here's the crazy part: the guy can wrestle out his ass.
Facts.
They fucked them over like that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. You could have easily had a run between Moxley and Omega. You could have had a run for 4 to 5 months. You know what I'm saying? And then like Omega, they come after him or whatever, and the SoCal crew isn't up to strength, and then the Elite do their thing, and Omega wins, and then you continue the title collector thing. But there is no reason why Scorpio Sky couldn't have a moment, a slice of AW champion in between it.
Yeah.
Nobody would have thought less of it. A lot of people would have thought better of the company.
And
A
not for
lot of
nothing.
people would have neglected the lacking of the women's booking probably if you did that.
Yeah, not for nothing. Scorpio Sky beats Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight
Yes.
Championship and
'Cause
loses
he
it
puts
to
him to the limit.
and he loses it to Omega.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Like, look, losing it to Omega or Moxley makes sense because these are two guys that are well established, have history somewhere else, and they're big signings.
Yeah.
Both guys are massive. Like, look, Jericho wins it, right? Then the number one contendership happens. Like, he gets close to beating Jericho, and Scorpio goes, "Yo, listen, I almost beat you." And then he puts him through a gauntlet thing, and he beats everybody, the Tanochis and everybody, beats Jericho, man, what double or nothing, right?
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, Moxley comes in. He's like, "Yo, listen, I get you beat Jericho, but I'm number one ranked. Ranking system isn't a fact.
What?
I'm number one. I need my title shot." He doesn't win it the first time because Jericho interferes on somebody like, "Yo, I feel like I lost somebody lesser than me." Moxley takes out Jericho. Then you go back, and then finally Moxley wins it. But for 5 months, he's defending the title the way Moxley's defending the interim title right now.
Yep.
Every Wednesday, there's a new contender. And that's how you build up your title. And then Scorpio, once he leaves the title thing, even if he goes back down to the TNT title or the Mid-Atlantic, he goes back to whatever he does. He can always be a contender. Like if he's ever in a tournament for it, you can believe, yo, Scorpio was a champion once. Yo, there's a chance he could win it again.
Yeah, this is true.
And then you have another viable threat to the championship always on hand. But the hell do I know?
Word. You know, and the crazy shit is Jericho winning the title the first time makes the AEW title legitimate.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
It makes it legitimate.
Absolutely
Scorpio
correct.
Sky beating Jericho for the title makes every other person in AEW that's not a WWE wrestler legitimate.
Absolutely. It makes everybody a viable threat to that title.
Yes.
Especially because Scorpio came from the Indies, was a former tag team champion, right? With two established talented individuals with Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, especially for Christopher Daniels. Not against Frank Kazarian. I loved him in TNA and the X Division. Definitely one of the pioneers of that. But Christopher Daniels, an RH original, TNA original, now this, that just solidifies that anybody in that program, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, MJF, Wardlow, anybody, there's a possibility that anybody at any given time can win that title.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then you have Moxley or Omega beat Scorpio Sky. You prove they're the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like if Omega came in on some I'm the best in New Japan, and I'm coming here to collect the titles, and he beats Scorpio Sky, maybe the second time, or like it's one of those things where the first time gets spoiled, or like Scorpio just gets it by the skin of his teeth, or he loses in a triple threat and he didn't get pinned, and Omega beats Scorpio Sky. It's proof this guy's the best, and it legitimizes anyone from Japan. Because now it's hold up.
With all due respect, you don't need to do that, but I see where for the American fans, I get it.
For like show, for people who aren't accessible to it, they're not privy to the New Japan style of those wrestlers. Because then when you have that and you bring in someone like Okada or the Sling Blade, you instantly go, these guys are some top dudes. Yeah. These guys, they come in here for they mean business.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then funny thing is, you can actually right after that, you can book Omega, Pac, and Orange Cassidy, and then it just elevates the fact that Pac and Cassidy, mostly Orange Cassidy, because people know Pac well enough. Like Pac has always been dangerous, but Orange almost had it a couple of times, and we've spoken about that match at length. Like a couple of times, they're like, is Orange gonna win this?
Yep.
How can I win this? And you just with Scorpio having won it, and then that happening, you're like, yo, anybody can win anytime. Then you bring in Miro, and you're like, oh, Miro should definitely win it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then even with the way you have Luchasaurus now, what if he decides to break away from Christian and he wants a title run? It would all make perfect sense. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And
But if you just book one person, right?
yeah. And the thing with that, what you just said, is the magic of wrestling. The magic that we had growing up in wrestling was at any
Absolutely.
given moment, someone can make history. Someone can do something that we didn't even think can happen.
I mean, the Mick Foley booking is probably the perfect example.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of shit happened for it to happen, but there's no way you're thinking Foley's going to win that title on Raw. And Raw was damn near a pay-per-view at that point. Raw was like a pay-per-view event. Make no mistake, on a Monday. Because shit happened all the time on Raw.
Yep. Yeah, because the thing about Mankind, he did not look like a champion.
No, not
He
at all.
didn't look like they would give him the belt at all. And then when he won it, and when Tony Schiavone ruined it for everybody, and we're like, bullshit. That's one of those moments where it's like, yo, Mankind's the champion. Mick Foley is the fucking champion. I'm tuning in next week to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? At any given time, we have to suspend belief in this wrestling industry. That's why people watch wrestling. To suspend their belief